Hey YouTube. So I today was having a conversation with somebody that had stopped by, and I was just talking about my to-do list and how they used to really help me just organize everything when I was super involved in the 3D world. I made lists about everything, so it really got me thinking about the power of connecting both sides of our brain. So, I grew up in foster care, and I actually learned about a program that some of my family participated in, and went to like the seminar type dealy, like family thing for it. And it was called The Lies That Bind Me, by Anisha Freeman, who's super dope, by the way, like super dope program. Anyways, but she actually based this whole program off this book called The Right Brain and Discovering the Stranger Within, by Dr. R. Joseph. And it's funny because my favorite author for The Power of the Subconscious Mind is Dr. Joseph Murphy. So it's like, there's a thing. I digress. So, anyways, sorry, I'm at the laundromat. People are pulling up. Everything's a cycle. Comes out in the wash. Anyways, so right brain development. He had this neurological book about how the brain developed, and it was just basically like going through, like, you know, how the reptilian brain developed into the human brain, so on and so forth. It's been like 8 years since I read it. 9. I think I read that in 2012, the same time I started reading The Science of Getting Rich, Wallace D. Waddle. So definitely love that. But anyways, I digress. I let someone the book. Once again, lent them the fucking book. Don't got it. Gotta order it again so I can reread it. It took me like 2 years to get through it. Then, because I just kept going off of it because it was like so wordy and technical. Anyways, so one of the things that really was the theme in the book was just like your right brain and your left brain work together. They're really two different people that come together. And I just like to apply that spiritually as well when I'm thinking about stuff now in my journey. But one of the things that he would say is that, like, if you cut the cerebrium or whatever, the cross, the nerves that go across from the hemispheres of the brain, they that you would have the body, you know, buttoning a shirt on one side and the other side unbuttoning it, because they wouldn't be cohesive. And I can't remember if it's in the same book or if it was a different book. It was talking about spatial awareness. And because of this book, I actually do believe that during my brain development, this is just phenomenal. I mean, I could go in, you guys, like, he just talks about how prior to, you know, like how you thought before you thought in words, before somebody taught you a language, how did you think? And I like to think about that for those aphantasia people. How did you think? But anyways, I digress. And I do think that in the part of the brain that develops, that relates to this right brain, empathizing with other people and spatial awareness, one of the things that I thought he made an interesting comment in the book was just like basically saying like a certain portion can overdevelop and cause underdevelopment in the other portion of the brain. And I do feel like I've overdeveloped my ability to empathize with others and to look at people. So not even from an astrology, like this is before I even believed in astrology, metaphysics, any of that. Like I mean, I was on my government conspiracy, but I still was like a Bible thumper almost. I mean, I wasn't. Like, I think I was at my atheist standpoint or agnostic standpoint that time, but you have to think I grew up in a Pentecostal church. So I digress. So I'm really looking at everything from a psychological 3D standpoint. Like, this is what science says when I was reading this book. But I do know that Mrs. Freeman, whatever it may be, when she helped a lot of women with this class that she made off of this book. So I think about that, like, if my ability to over empathize with people was overdeveloped, then that would make sense why I can't clap on beat, why my spatial awareness has been off, why I had no peripheral vision, no sense of direction, those types of things. So interesting. You know, you give a little to get a little, I guess. But anyways, still digressing. So I was thinking about how when I'm telling my friend I'm making these lists and I'm writing this stuff down, she's like, I told her, I was like, it just helps you, both sides of your brain connect. Because I can't remember, was that book or something else that I've read that was just saying, like, when you are reading a book and you want to take a note and then you get up to go to the other room to think about, or to get a pencil, if you didn't say out loud or like communicate it to your right brain, then when you get to the door, you're not going to remember that you needed that pencil. Like, you're not going to know what you're there for because it wasn't communicated to your right brain. And so I'm like, that's deep, yo, like, and then I mean, sometimes I don't know what to do with the shit that I learned, so I just kind of sat on that. But then I was looking at some shit on Pinterest. It was like something about magic or sigils or something. I try not to get too far into it, hardly anything, because it's usually just a bunch of fucking lostness. But the sigil, oh sorry, people staring at me distracted me. But the sigil thing, oh yeah, so the guy was just basically saying, like, you have to sit there and meditate, like, on an energy for yourself, and then come up with a sigil that represents whatever it is, and then you have to perform it while utilizing that energy in order to marry the two. Some shit. I don't remember what the point of whatever ritual or whatever they were describing on the shit was, but it just made me think about this whole I don't even remember. Is it the Book of Enoch where they're like, they cut out Jesus talking about marrying the two, marrying the thought with the feeling or whatever it may be. So that's just super interesting to me, that how can we make sure that our left and right brains are communicating properly in this 3D world. I don't know. Any comments anybody wants to make would be cool. Like, always would enjoy a good discussion. Talk to you guys soon.